Hey, today is Friday. I think it's June 25th. I'm going to be going over the one trade I took, one trade only. That trade was on FUBO. It was a nice winning trade, locked in around 59.1% return on investment, around 423 US dollars. So I'm going to be going over what I saw, why I took it, higher time frame analysis, entries and exits, so all of that. And so let's get started. Uh, Let me start off with the higher time frame. Go to charting. Okay. Okay, so let's start off. Let's go to FUBO, higher time frame. So the main level I was watching on FUBO was this 33.7 level. Now, why is this level so important? Well, you can see that this level acted as resistance, twice, or in this area, around three times here. Then it acted as resistance, all in this area. Fast forward 2 or 3 weeks after, we come and we test this 33.7 level twice. So we've had 5 or 6 rejections on this level on a 1 hour time frame. So this is definitely a valid level. Now my thought process is that, okay, if we can get above this level with nice volume, strength, and momentum, we should see a move higher considering that we don't have any fresh supply above. So that was my thought process going into this trade. Let's now switch over to a 5 minute time frame where I can, fully analyze where I entered and why. Okay, uh, so the first thing I saw off of FUBO is actually, let me go to, no, sorry, not executions. Let me go to video. I can compare it against buying QQQ. So FUBO, I think it's a TV company, so it really, so FUBO really doesn't follow QQQ at all, and it barely follows SPY. So that's just something to keep in mind. But what I saw right off of the open is FUBO had relative strength. And why do I say this? FUBO had 3 green candles to the upside, while NQ was choppy and ES was also extremely choppy. On top of that, these 3 candles resulted in, I believe, a 3% move to the upside, while ES couldn't breach its high day, while NQ was weak. So what is this telling me directly? This is telling me that buyers are clearly interested in FUBO. We just moved 3% to the upside on this is not significant, but this is pretty good volume, especially compared to other days. Uh, so not only did we move 3%, we moved on decent volume, while SPY and QQQ were choppy. So that automatically tells me that buyers are interested in FUBO. So let me go back to charting now, and that's just what I wanted to compare to on SPY and QQQ, mainly because FUBO doesn't really follow them. But as I said before, FUBO had relative strength right off of the open. The other thing I'm watching is this 33.7 level. I know a strong breakout above this level will definitely trigger a move higher. Okay, so let me talk about where I entered. Uh, I entered on this 5 minute candle. If I go to a 1 minute time frame, you'll probably see my entry a little bit more clear. So I entered at this on this 10:09 candle as we breached above high of day, as we slightly before this 33.7 level. So I entered right here, 8 contracts at I believe 92 cents was my fill. So pretty standard stuff. If I go to a 15-minute time frame, this was another confirmation I had. This was a clear 15-minute R, B, and R. So not only did we have volume strength and momentum, not only did we breach the 33.7 key level, not only did we have relative strength in the morning, we also had this 15-minute RBR, which acted as consolidation. So several things are lining up for FUBO, hence why I took this trade. So I entered, 8 contracts at 92 cents. And because this was a Friday, because FUBO broke a major technical level, I was anticipating a much more aggressive move than this. But as you can see, this was a pretty choppy move to the upside. 1, 2, 3, 4 candles with pretty upper wicks. I was expecting a move to 35 once I saw this nice close, but we didn't get that. And Essentially what I was doing is I was just piecing out of my position very slowly. My final target was 35. Um, so I had 8 contracts. I scaled my first two at, I believe, 131, and then another one at like 125, then 140, 155. So I kept on scaling out 170. So I kept on scaling out as we were moving higher. I had one contract remaining to see if we would approach that 35 level. And then when we had this 5 minute RB and R touching the 35 level and then failing, I took my last one off at $2. So over 100% winner on my last contract. Uh, so I want to go over a couple of lessons about patience. My belief is that you should always scale out on the way out to protect yourself. When you take your first scale out and that scale out is in profit, move your other contracts to break even. Because if you make money on the first contracts, if you move your remaining contracts to break even, the worst case is you make money, and the best case is you make more money. So that's how I positioned myself when I was in profit. And the only reason I had left one to ride till 35, typically I would have let maybe 20 or 30% of my position till my final target. But the reason I scaled out a little bit more aggressively than I would is just by looking at price action. I noticed that we had all of these upper wicks and these candles were very, very small bodied. So that was telling me that buyers were not super aggressive. And because I knew that buyers weren't super aggressive, I was a little bit more, aggressive with my scale outs. I scaled out more aggressively. I mean, in hindsight, it wasn't smart, but you never know what's going to happen. Given this amount of data, uh, we honestly looked like we weren't going to move too much higher. But that was my entire trade. Let me just highlight my final exit, which was right here. This was probably one of my better executed trades, just because I was patient enough, despite buyers not being too aggressive, to hold to my final target, and I was able to hold through these pullbacks on a Friday, which is an even better thing on my end in terms of patience. So overall, this was a very, very good trade. This was my only trade for the day, and this was a nice winner. A couple of other things I want to go over is, I sized down from 1,500 to $800 or 800 to 1K position sizes. So I sized down by half, but I ended this week profitable on every single day. I had over a 75% win rate. I locked in around 1,500 or 1,495 US dollars. So this really, really goes to show that you don't need to play big size to make a lot of money with options. You just have to be confident with your strategy. You need to be confident in how you execute trades. You need to be patient and only stick to the one strategy you're trading. You shouldn't be trading 5 or 6 different strategies. My opinion, my advice is to just master one strategy and stick to that. So yeah, this was a very, very good week for me. I'm going to be trading with the same size next week as well, and then starting from July, I will up my size back to around 1,500, maybe even 2K position sizes. So it's my plan going forward. I hope you guys have a good rest of the week. I hope you guys learned something from my FUBO trade, and I think I covered everything around this trade. So I'm going to end it here. Hope you guys have a great week.